You know how we start these videos, yeah? You know what, why don't you guys go make a cup of tea as well, and we'll have tea together. So, yes guys, my name is Junaid. I'm a third year medical student studying at Newcastle University, and this is one of the first videos of a new series called Cove Interviews. Now I know it's a bit of a cheesy name and I couldn't really think of anything better, so we'll roll with it for now. So it's a new series where I'll be making videos about the medicine interview process, you know, how to answer certain questions, how to prepare properly, and you know, just overall excel in them interviews. So just to give you guys a bit of background, I did my interviews in 2017 and 2018, and I did 1 panel interview and 2 MMIs. And alhamdulillah, I got 3 out of 3 offers. So hopefully the tips I have for you guys will be beneficial and they'll help you guys clear that hurdle of the medicine interview. So in this video, I'm going to be going over how to answer the big old question of why do you want to study medicine. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So this is usually one of the first questions that they'll ask you in a panel interview, and it always usually crops up in one of the MMI stations. So you really have to prepare for this question properly and, you know, have all your talking points in your head ready to answer this question. And the key to answering this question properly is to make it personal to you. So it's very likely that your reasons for wanting to study medicine are very similar to other people's, and you don't really need some crazy obscure reason to stand out. Actually, the best way to answer these questions is to pick a couple of reasons for wanting to study medicine and give them a bit of your own personal seasoning. And what I mean by this is to back up your reasons with personal examples. So if one of your reasons for wanting to study medicine is that you enjoy the close interaction with other people, you could say that you're a people person and that you get fulfillment from speaking with others. And on your work experience, you saw how attentive listening and empathy can have such a huge impact on patients, and that you found this to be a very heartwarming experience. So in that example, I gave my reason for wanting to study medicine, which was that I enjoy the close interaction with people, and then I expanded this by giving my own personal example, which was my work experience. And giving that personal example in your reasons will really help to reinforce your reasons for wanting to study medicine, and it'll help make your answer a little bit stronger. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go over all of the various different reasons for wanting to study medicine because I'll be sat here for hours. But what I will do is I'll go over a couple of the fairly common ones that are fairly easy to develop really well. So another reason that you could give is that you enjoy the challenges that a career like medicine entails. Because as a doctor, you're constantly trying to solve problems that patients present with, and that you're constantly having to work on your feet and, you know, work with other members of your team to figure out what the best course of action is for patients, and that you look forward to this challenging aspect of medicine. And you can expand this further by talking about how you love solving problems on a daily basis, and you can throw in a couple of your own little examples in there as well. Another reason you guys can give is that there's a vast variety of different careers that stem from a degree in medicine. If you do a medical degree, you don't have to just be a doctor. You can go into research, you can go into preventative medicine, and you know, there's tons of other things that medical graduates do. Some of them don't even go into medicine. Some dudes chase the money and go into accounting, but probably best not to mention that. But yeah, you could talk about how you're really interested in all these various different career paths, and that you feel as though you'd love to explore these further at medical school and beyond, and then select the one where you feel that you can make the greatest possible impact. If you do use that reason, make sure you do have a vague idea of what you want to do in case the interviewer asks you, because sometimes the interviewers are and they'll try and probe further and trick you out. But yeah, try not to fall into that trap, and if you are going to use that reason, make sure you develop it really well and that you have a backup just in case. So another reason you guys can use to answer that question of why do you want to go into medicine is that you enjoy the lifelong learning aspects of a career in medicine. Now, as doctors, you're pretty much learning all the time, whether that be new treatments, new advancements in medicines, you know, new drugs to prescribe, or maybe even new ways to communicate with your patients. And that's one of the beauties of medicine, is that, you know, you're always constantly learning and improving yourself as a person and as a doctor. So yeah, those are just a couple of reasons. My biggest tip to you guys is make sure that you don't just list them off, because this isn't a listing exercise, and you really want to develop these reasons properly before you have that interview. So that aside, let's move on to the next point that I have for you guys, and that is the importance of enthusiasm. So you guys have to realize that the content of what you say is one thing, and then the delivery is a complete another thing. And then you have to have both of these to have an effective answer. And you can prepare as much as you want for the content of your answer, but if you're not really enthusiastic in that interview and you're showing genuine enthusiasm and excitement, then the delivery just won't be there. And I remember when I actually got into medical school and I spoke to a senior student, turns out he was one of the interviewers on the MMI station, and he told me that when a person entered the station and started talking, you could tell pretty much very early on which people were super enthusiastic and excited to be there and which people were kind of pushed into medicine by their parents. So the key point is that interviewers do notice this, and the thing is, you can't really fake enthusiasm. It's either there or it isn't. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are genuinely enthusiastic about career in medicine, but you might not be doing yourself justice in the way you present your answers. So my best advice for this is to answer with a nice big smile and use hand gestures and just sort of show that you're excited about entering medical school. To add to that, I'd say try and speak to the interviewers like they're your friends. Now I know it's a bit of a hard task to do, especially if they're like 50, 60 years old and you're here like a 17, 18-year-old kid, but really try and speak to them like they're your mates and try and be on a level with them, try and build that rapport, because that will just help calm the nerves a little bit and it'll really help you guys stay cool and answer your questions properly. Also, I nearly forgot to mention this, but if you guys do have some really unique anecdotes that you feel like would help make your answers stand out a bit, then by all means use those. But just remember to always link it back to how that's reinforced your decision to study medicine. Because the last thing you want to do is tell a whole long ass story and then not actually answer the question itself of why you want to do medicine. But yeah, ladies and gents, that is all I have for today. The tea got finished mid-video, so hopefully you guys will have finished yours by now as well. Otherwise, you're drinking it way too slow. But I hope this video helps you guys in preparing your answers for that big old question of why medicine. I think it'll actually be really interesting to find out your guys' reasons for wanting to study medicine. So why don't you drop it down below and enlighten your boy. And that's all I have time for today, guys. So this was the first video of my new medicine interview series, Cove Interviews. And not gonna lie, I'm really not sure about that name. So if you guys have any better suggestions, then drop them down below. And if you guys come up with some good ones and I end up using it, I'll give you a cheeky little shout out as well. So yeah guys, expect to see a lot more interview related videos, and I'll also sprinkle a couple of fun videos in there as well, just to keep you guys entertained. So that's it for today guys. If you enjoyed the video, then subscribe and drop a cheeky like, and hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Okay, say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.